it's your girl, Olivia Rodriguez. We're here today on Empow3r Hour with my co-host, Lady Boss over here. And we have a guest today. His name is Logan.
So are we? How's everything going? Logan Forbes.
He was great.
CEO and founder of UNTITLED Export Management. Pleasure to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. That's different. I'm honored to have you here.
Honored to be here. It was a pleasure. And I had the opportunity to be the first guest. Very excited. That's our honor.
For sure, for sure. What was one of the reasons why you brought him in to be one of the first guests that we're going to interview on the show? Well, I want to say that he is a very important person in my life. One, because he works with me. We are a team. He does marketing for my artists and for my company. I own a record label, Society the Label. Hands up to that. Hey.
That's society.
And that's what Logan does. He relates to that type of business that I've been doing for a minute. And he's actually helped me grow and understand the business way more than what I knew. I was letting other people help me, misguided by people and lies. And honestly, once I found him, I was like an angel sent from God, honestly. I really have so much respect for him. I'm totally honored to have him here. You know, today to me is a blessing to find people like himself that actually care about their clients and what he's doing for these artists. Because this game is really fucking fucked up. And excuse my language, but it is. A lot of people take advantage of you. And coming across him, his honesty, how I could trust him, and how he puts knowledge in your head is amazing to me. Because not a lot of people want you to learn the game. They want you to stay, I'm stupid about stuff and not have knowledge about it, so that way they can rob you from whatever it is they're trying to take from you. And at the end of the day, when I met him, it was amazing to find somebody that's actually honest and that wants the best for you and your artist and your company. And this is why I bring him here today. For me, it's very important. I'm even emotional a little bit because honestly, it was a gift. And we met in a strange way. I went somewhere. It was actually a record label. What was the name of the label? Priority Records. And I went there and I went through a friend of mine. His name is Keto. Thanks to Keto that I met Logan. Shout out to great guy. Keto is an amazing person. He finds talent for different labels. And he's actually a good friend of mine. And he invited me as a friend. And I was able to bring my artist there and meet Logan. And when I met him, I really knew that was the real deal. And I'll explain why. When I went there with a purpose. Like, okay, who I'm going to meet? What can I happen that day? Is my artist getting signed? Because you go with that mentality. Yeah. But in reality, you're missing a lot of pieces to the puzzle. And that's where he fits in. So I meet him and I'm explaining to Keto what happened to me with a prior marketing guy. And I paid him some money and the guy didn't do shit. And they were all so fucking upset, right? They're all so upset that they tricked me, the Lady Boss. Like, damn, she's so genuine. How do you screw this woman over? And right there, Keto got on the phone and he's like, yo, what's up? You did this to my sister? You did this to my relative? You have 5 minutes to respond her messages. And the guy right away came back on and did what he had to do. Yeah. But, I got what I needed to out of him. But at the end of the day, I met Logan that day. And I'd rather do business with people like this than do people like the other guy, because it was just a joke to him.
So and if I would have an intervention, literally.
Like, it was an intervention. It was. It had to happen. I had to meet him, and I'm really blessed for having him in my life.
That's amazing.
Likewise.
So for people who don't already know you, what, in a nutshell, what is it that you do exactly?
So I come in to artist teams at various levels. Some people really small, some people really big. And the first thing I do, and you can attest to this, is evaluate. That's the first step with any marketing consultation, which mine are always first. You can also attest to that. The first step is let's see where you're at, what you're currently doing, how it's working, where it's not working, where it could use improvement, and then strategize the best way to get where you want to go, right? And where you want to go is typically a combination of your goals as well as what I know the person needs. And
so you're doing artists like audit.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. They're doing a strategy plan.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Almost like a home inspection. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you're like tap guy on TikTok. You ever seen like the tap guy on TikTok with the little things like that? I'm going to tap around looking for weaknesses, and we figure out how to strengthen them. And, there's a million ways that we get there, and we could spend the entire podcast talking about, just one of those ways.
Right.
You know, so the audit is really important, and that's what is missing from a lot of the other people is there is no audit. There's just here go a list of things that I do with a price list, and you could just pick what you want, you know?
Pay me. When's the deposit? When's next?
Yeah.
Not come on in. Let me welcome you in.
Right.
Let me show you what's wrong about what you're doing, and let me make it right. You want to listen to me? This is, and he works with your budget.
It's like imagine going to a doctor's office and they just give you a list of everything. All right, so like you want the blood test, you want the eye test, like you think you need the EKG, like you know what do you want today? You know, and it's like damn, like I came here so you could tell me what I need, you know, because I'm having this problem or I want to better myself in this way, like. It's like I don't know what in any other industry it works like that, except for and it isn't even just exclusive to music. And I know that you have experience in digital marketing. It's like that in all fields. It's just digital marketing. In my opinion, what it is in a nutshell is people just like us get into a room with a whiteboard and they just come up with a number. They multiply it by a number, and then it's like $25,000 a month. If I could just find 10 people to just give me $2,500, like I could get $25,000 a month, and that's financial freedom. And that's what the people just do that, and then they go, all right. So let me go on ChatGPT, and this says that marketing is what I should do, and then let me go on Fiverr, and you know it's like that's not marketing, you know what I mean? That's just reselling. It's like selling weed, you know what I mean? Like you want to buy something from the plug, and then reselling it to your customer for more money. There's no strategy in that. There's nothing, you know, and that's in my opinion the biggest problem with digital marketing in any field today is that the people in it have no experience outside of charging people. You know, they haven't worked with $1 million brands. Right. They just charge people on the moniker that they took some online course or paid some guru that's just doing the same thing, and it's all just created
a
this
resale.
BS market.
There's no personal experience, and there's no humanity really behind it. But sales, I love that. So
there's artists
passionate about what you do.
Oh, absolutely, because there's situations like that I've been in personally where I've been in the room with people at the same place that we were just talking about. I've watched people come in there and talk about things that I've been doing this for 7 years. I know a lot of people. I've been active on social media doing stuff like this for the past like 2 years, you know, since the business started. And, you know, nowadays you can't do business without doing this, you know what I mean? But that's the biggest thing. It's just getting into a situation like that and understanding like you just need to figure out how to impact the client in the best way possible. And that's what I'm all about, because if you're not impacting the client in positive ways, all you're doing is taking from it. And that's just not going to do anything. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the passion has to come from, is the want to help people. You can't just be one of those guys that just like, oh yeah, I've done this. Like I
talker.
I know you didn't do that. I know you didn't do that because I was there and I know who did that, and it certainly wasn't you. But I keep quiet. I don't like to argue. I'm very big on no arguments because there's nothing positive that can come from a negative conversation. You know what I mean?
How did you gain these tools? Obviously, we know there's different ways to do it. You can earn your way, you can pay your way, you can serve your way.
Yes.
So how did you become the Logan that you are today? Like, what tools built you to be this person?
Absolutely. So that's a couple things, honestly. I mean, it starts off, I think that any successful business has three parts. You know, it has attitude, it has the product, and then it has the follow through. You know what I mean? I think that the attitude, obviously we started a little bit late because we had, some pre-conversation, but I was here 3 minutes after the time was supposed to be here. You know, punctuality and attention to detail, stuff like that. Consistency is, I think I got that from an experience I had when I was younger. I was in a youth military program for about 4 years. So, during the summers, I would go off. I went to San Diego, I went to Virginia once, I went to Detroit once, and I would go out and spend 2 or 3 weeks on a military base with a bunch of other kids my age, 15, 16, and we would basically go around with, say, like San Diego was the intelligence training, so we went around with like the people that do like naval intelligence in San Diego, and they gave us like some mock trials. Like it was nothing like confidential or anything like that, but we got to like go into a bridge command center, which is like a fake ship inside of a building, and like, they were big on punctuality. We got up at the same time every day. We did everything at the same time.
So the discipline
was there, and everything else came from 2 experiences on the one side, being just physically doing it. A lot of the like logistical stuff like tour management and stuff like, time management on the booking side. Like, we got to get to this hotel at this time, check in. It's this far away. We got to get here by this time. All that logistical type of stuff just came from being on the road for a while. And then the marketing knowledge came from trial and error. You know, I wasted a lot of my own money. Early on, you know, I unfortunately wasted clients' money falling into the same trap that we were just talking about, because I had let somebody convince me that they were reselling something.
They were the gurus of it.
And I had to learn. I learned quick. You know, maybe I think only 3 clients had that experience before I was like, yeah, no, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, just trial and error. And then over the past couple of years, I've been happy to be a part of over 30 artist signings in various capacities. So every time I do one, I pick up new tactics on deal negotiation, deal structure, the marketing tactics that it took to get the meeting, how many meetings it took to get the deal. Because
so you know your metrics.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. That's so important in every aspect of business.
Yes.
Knowing your metrics. That's one thing that's gonna change your business completely, when you know what it takes and then you're measuring. What are my goals?
Yes.
How do we strategize to do this? And just knowing your numbers.
Exactly.
So every artist does have their own recipe. And that's what you're going to learn, the recipe for them. And just share it with them.
It's not cookie cutter.
It's not. It's not. Everybody has their own fan base. Everybody got, maybe something that works for you doesn't work for me. So maybe something that works for me works for me. It doesn't work for you.
Won't work for an R&B singer. And what works for an R&B singer won't work for a bachata person.
No, exactly.
Or a reggaeton.
So do you work with all like genres?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the type of music, you work with everyone.
For the service, it depends. So like, for example, if we're doing like ads can be ran anywhere. Like I can target any country, any demographic, anything like that. When it comes to some of the stuff like the higher level stuff, a lot of my higher level connections are specifically in rap, where about 80 to 90% of my clients are. So a lot of like the big performances, like a From the Block or like a Trash Bag or something like that. Like I don't have the reggaeton equivalent of Trash Bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, so I have a question. Now that we're getting into that, I know it's going to be a little, you know, just a little bit of, you know, going against the grain, but you obviously don't look like the status quo of the person in the rap industry.
No.
How do you use that to your advantage?
I think
I got white boys. You see that's his game. The white boy. Everybody looks for the white boy.
How do you navigate
I use
that person?
I use my appearance to do that. I think appearance is very important.
Yes, I use that too to get in the door, and then I let you know who I really am.
I use I got 2 looks. You know, I have 2 looks. You've seen both of them. It's something that's I have like 14 colors of these, like 15 colors of these, and then I wear pressed slacks, dress sweaters, and like very nice dress shoes. And I use the dress clothes in combination with my appearance to go to places where I quite literally am the only. Like I'll go to Universal and I'm the only person there in a pair of pressed slacks.
Yeah.
And it's just that. Like I'll tell you a story. One day we were there and we met the former president of Capitol. She just happened to come in for a meeting. Wonderful lady. She blessed us with some knowledge and some information. And the first thing she said to me was, "Wow, like you're the only person up here that looks like this. Like, why did you wear this?" You know what I mean? Because it's just not
What are you
common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we met the CEO.
So you're standing out.
Exactly.
That was
He
the
said
whole
same
point.
thing.
The marketing too is I stand out. I wore the lime green because I know nobody else is gonna wear lime green, and you stood out.
Yes.
And actually matched us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And her shoes.
And her shoes.
Exactly.
You can't see them, but
Yeah.
But that's how I do it. I use my appearance. I make sure that's And then I also I travel with a family. You know what I mean? I travel with my partner and my wife and our dog. You know what I mean? So that's unique.
Your support
literally.
system.
Yeah. That's so I bring a presence that most people are not used to. Yes, there's the fact that by first look, regardless of what I'm wearing, I look like I don't belong, but I take that to a step further by adding the accessories such as the loud outfit or the business outfit or having a family,
or just having or just knowing the tools and
having the personality because you could be dressed in green and you not talk and that's not gonna take you nowhere.
Exactly.
I am dressed in white and I make sure I'm dressed in white because when I come in the room I like that room on. Nobody could take that light away from me, and that's when you have assurance with yourself. You're confident. I could walk in anywhere and I know that I am selling a product and I'm gonna get it sold because I am confident of me. me, of who I am, and I'm confident in what I'm selling.
Absolutely.
I want you to tell us a little bit of some artists that you've been working with that are, up and rising or already have made it that you can share with us today.
I always the first person that I always go to is somebody that was a real catalyst to a lot of the success, and the reason why we even met that day. To take it a step further, one of the artists that I had the pleasure of working with from not the inception of his career, but the inception of him taking his career seriously. His name is Sal Nolak, and you met him that day too. I think he was up there. He's got big hair. You know what I mean?
Yes, I met him.
16 or 17 now. He's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Wow.
I was able to, come in and help his team. He had a strong team too. He had a couple guys that I've been working with for a while on the management side. We were able to come in and bring my resources to the table. They had the funding, I had the resources. I had some connections here and there, we got them on the radar. That was a big catalyst. We did a blog run that resulted in him getting signed. It was actually...
I want to know something about you, though. How do you deal with work and your wife and your family? Because this is very time consuming.
It is.
And I've noticed in the industry, you got to put your soul, your time, your energy. If you don't do it in this business, you're not going to be successful. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. I give more into the music than I do to my salons, and I'm a businesswoman. But I have to do this because in the long run, when you get back to the music, yes, it's insane. The way you could tap.
This is the only place where you can go from $0 to $1 million and
Very
fun.
So how do you do in between family and also being in the industry and dealing with all this stuff?
It's two-part. In the one part, obviously, I've employed my partner, and she really...
Oh, that's awesome. We see you're a team leader. Yay!
I don't even want to say I employed because, in my opinion, she employed herself. She made an equity investment at the beginning with me to build our studio that we have.
That's beautiful.
Ever since then,
That's what I'm talking about.
she's operated as the CFO, done all the financial stuff, made sure all that was good, tracking because I don't track for shit. I just go, you know what I mean?
And she takes care of the baby.
Exactly, and she's
The
over
baby.
there right now.
Who's the baby?
Gigi, of course.
And what is she?
Gigi is a 2-year-old French bulldog.
We are just my boy.
I'll bring her to the
Gigi
camera.
might do a grand entrance, guys.
Yeah, we'll put whoever's editing this overlay a picture of Gigi right now.
Yeah, I just flew across the bottom. She's amazing. She's very beautiful.
But so it's one part just involving them in the daily life. I chose a French bulldog for a reason because it has separation anxiety and it cannot be left alone, so it forces me to be in the house more. 8 to 5 or 6 business hours, 6 to 10 text only. I don't really take calls at that time.
So you put boundaries. You have a schedule, right?
People like you can get me out.
No, anytime.
But most people won't see me at this time on a day like Thursday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't go out, you know what I mean? I don't really, unless it's like some type of function that
You
is
keep it straight with
perfect,
it.
you
It's
know,
business.
business,
That's
house,
wonderful.
and I thankfully have a partner that is
Super
not
supportive.
Because this could be very time consuming. A lot of people, they take up your time and energy and you're not making anything out of
But you
it.
have to go through it.
Yeah, you have to. Now you're at a point in life where you're like, this is business, I'm making money, this is my schedule, respect it. I have my clients and this is how it has to be.
And don't get me wrong though, like I have clients, and I honestly had a hard time originally because I used to just like it just wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? And I would do the calls at any time, no matter if the person was spending $5.
That's me still. That's me.
Like, and I thought it was gonna be like I thought people were gonna get upset, but like nobody's ever got upset for me for saying like, I've been at the office for the past 10 hours. I'm taking 4 hours off. You can call me again at like 11 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just nobody's ever been like, oh, like fuck you. You know what I mean? It's always been fine. You know. So I think that's it's just important to have clients that you're dealing with that understand that. And then I also have clients that spend, an amount of money which I think it's reasonable for them to call at that time, and obviously put out a fire or something. But most people are understanding. And that's not to say that I won't answer the phone at that time for somebody that doesn't spend a certain amount of money, but it's just, it all goes through the emotions. If you're not spending a lot of money, you realistically probably don't need that question answered at that point. But with more money in it, it's not. And people think that the more money, it doesn't make more effort. More money doesn't necessarily mean more effort. More money means more moving parts, and more moving parts means more problems. If you're only spending a couple $100, there's only 1 or 2 moving parts that you can have, which means there's a short list of issues that you could be having. And I can verify if you're having all of them before I even ask you. You know what I mean? On the other end, if we're doing a big campaign and it's we're working ads on multiple platforms, working reposting campaigns, maybe we're throwing influencers in there. We got platforms like freestyle platforms and all that. Like at that point, there's a multitude of things that can go wrong. And if I don't fix one of them, the dominoes will just fall because everything. And that's the other thing too that artists don't understand is how much stuff rides on other people. You know what I mean? And like, for example, we could come up with the best plan in the world, and then the music video director could take 4 weeks to edit it, and it's fucked.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And that puts us behind.
It's over. It's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do.
And I get it, because I've worked on other projects, and I'm just like, and time is of the essence. And we go back to consistency. Yep. Literally, consistency.
And this is for every
once your person has momentum,
you have to
go. You have to go. Let's go. Next one. And unfortunately, you know, some people are not working.
Getting steamrolled over.
Yeah, literally.
It's a cutthroat world out here.
Especially in the music industry. I can imagine, like in my industry, in the real estate industry, everything is like you have to move quickly, or else you just might miss your mark. You might miss that deal. Somebody else might come and snatch it up.
Absolutely.
I can imagine the music industry too.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things that you want to know. One of my favorite, misconceptions in the music industry is that it might take somebody 15 meetings at a record label to get a record label deal, and people think that you go to the record label.
Yeah, they're just signing you a contract.
Yeah, it's like you might have to go to that one record label 3 times, meet 3 different sets of people, and then it's like.
What happened to me? I went there that day. I'm like, oh, they're gonna hear his music because listen, if one person believes in his music, is me. But again, he is my project.
Yeah.
So who more than anybody in this world, more than himself, is gonna want this for us is me. So you walk in there with these expectations, but it's not like that. No. You really have to put in the work. Yep. I have sleepless nights. I have teared. I have called you. I want to give up. He's like, don't give up. That's not how this works. You're a boss. Yeah. Think about it like this. And he calms me down. He takes me to a place where I feel comfort, where I'm like, damn, I do have good people behind my back. Yeah. We are a team. I need to just be patient. You can't expect in this industry to make it overnight. You have to be consistent. You have to.
18 months.
And also, I'm a firm believer that things are gonna happen for you in that season, right? So maybe an artist or whoever that person is needs to develop more, right? So because the thing is, you can't arrive to your destination too soon.
No.
Period.
Yes.
Period.
Not your time is not your time.
You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the maturity, when you get to that place, you're gonna lose your momentum. You're gonna make yourself a fool.
I've seen artists that have had the perfect team, the perfect budget,
and their
music, the perfect marketing, and they fucked it up for everybody. Yeah. When somebody gets a deal, it's not just the artist that gets something out of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The
team gets money out of that. The artist gets money out of that. The artist's family gets money out of that. The area the artist is from, like everything gets a kickback out of what happens, because that's all that is money entering a new economy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day,
please explain to all these artists that think that getting a deal is real money. What is a deal? It's a loan.
Yeah. But you know what, man, and this maybe we get into it too, because it is. But like, you want to know my favorite person that asked that question is our mutual friend, because it's like I have been a part of deals that the deal is negative $400,000, and they don't call and ask for any money. It's a loan against your music revenues. Mm-hmm. You will never get $1 off of your music streaming only. The shows and all that. You'll never get $1 off of your music streaming or sales up until you pay back the loan. But if you decide tomorrow to never record a song again, they will not come after you in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's the good thing about it. But if you want to keep growing,
yes,
definitely,
absolutely.
Then you're giving up on your dream. So why do you still then?
Well, some artists, there have been artists that have not even ignorant. I think they do it purposely. I think there are some artists that have come out and gotten deals purposely just because it's a large lump sum of money. A lot of the times it's sorted at $50,000 and up, and they purposely just like do it and never make. They call it like the labels plug it. They'll be like, oh, I don't want to sign him because I feel like we'll sign him and he'll never make another song again.
Yeah.
And I've heard that before. And that's something that happens is that, oh yeah, I'm up. I got $250,000. This is enough to make investments and live comfortably. Fuck this industry, because it's a lot, and the artist has to be the number one player. We can play for the artist only but so much. it gets to a point where the artist has to come and show out and do their job.
I mean, but other than that, it's just.
And how do you feel with your parents like seeing you in this industry? I know that a lot of times it's not like
Yeah.
they, you know, the older folk, they don't necessarily
Yeah, it was
get
They
it.
don't
First.
sometimes
Yeah.
believe in it.
They
Because
believe-
my parents,
I mean,
they're Dominican and
Yeah.
they do not believe about
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah.
Like they're
They
like,
think
you're
it's-
crazy.
yeah.
Plus, that's loca. You are with all these artists. You're wasting your time, and I don't know what you're doing. And this is not gonna happen for.
Yeah.
But I am a true believer of gut instinct.
Yes.
And when I met my artist, I had that gut instinct. I believed in him, and I believe in what I'm doing, and I believe in me. And when I'm behind something, it's gonna happen regardless because I believe in me and I come first. So like every time when they talk to me or a family is like, oh no, you're crazy. What are you doing? No, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I got every shit going on for me.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
doing this, and I'm just doing the same thing, just in a different type of business.
Yeah.
But it's basically all the same thing. It's
Everything's the same.
business. It boils down to business and
Yeah.
a recipe that you have that works, and applying it and being consistent.
Yes.
Just in closing, I would love to ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully doing the same thing in a much bigger standpoint. At that point, you know, maybe it'll be building time by then. The next, I want to expand again until I buy a building. You know, I'd like to get something exactly commercial too.
Maybe a real
Commercial
estate.
too.
Yeah, I bet we gotta get one up in Fairfield.
Funding, getting the
Excellent.
location, all of that.
Yeah. So
We have it
I
all. And you
I
don't
hope to
even need
God.
a tax return anymore. So get that straight, guys. You want a house, Olivia could help you know tax return.
Wow. Very
Little
good.
money,
Little money down.
bad credit,
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
But
Gigi has an IG, guys. All right, well, thanks for watching
Thank you for
our
watching, guys.
podcast.
And thank you
Yes.
for coming, Loki.
thank you for having me. Been a pleasure. Absolutely. Happy
stay-
and proud to be the first guest of the Empow3r Hour.
High five to you.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned because we will have goodies and special guests every single week. And we're excited to see you guys here on our channel.
And we're grateful to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Grateful
coming.
to be
You're
here.
the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay!